Hi everyone. What if I tell you you can now record incidents and report it as easy as sending a WhatsApp message in your mobile and web application? Does it sound too good to be true? Well, that's not the case if you have Salamath. Hi, my name is Mahmoud Chaudhary and I'm an engineer with Salamath Solutions. And I'm here to show you how Salamath can streamline your safety process using a web application. So let's dive deep into how the Salamath web application works and how user interacts with the web application, right? So after you first type in your web address, you are taken to the sign in page, and here you have to enter your email address and your password provided to you from our site. Yeah, so after your username and password has been entered, to the forget, you can click the forget password option, and this will allow you to reset your password once you have logged in. So enter your email address and click on the send recent link, and you can create your password from there. But in this case, let's just log in with the email and password given to us. So yeah, I'm going to sign in. So this is the dashboard module, and here you can see a lot of bars, charts, and graphs, and this will help you in translating data into a numerical value and help you with data analysis and easier identification of root causes. So now let's see how Salamath helps to improve the data entered into the system into meaningful, actionable data, right? So for that, we have different modules on the left hand side of the page, and there's a certain sequence in which you have to enter this data, and for that we'll click on the help module, so it will guide us through the different modules and how what kind of data has to be input in different modules. All right, so we'll just click on it, and the first module we have here is settings, and the settings module we classify as per your organization's needs, and better classification means better traceability and communication for the right. How now let's see how data can be classified further, right? Let's click on the go to settings tab. So we have the observation type, the category, the incident category, and the project target, right? So first, let's classify an observation type. Let's give an unsafe condition as an observation type. Then let's give an unsafe act observation type. So now both this data that has been entered, both this condition, both this observation type can be edited later by clicking on this icon, right? And if you want to delete something, you can click on this icon and it can be deleted, right? So when that's done, let's go to the categories to classify this further, right? So we go to the categories, we add categories, we select an observation type. Let's select unsafe acts for now. Let's put in quality. Let's add a subcategory, improper PPE, invalid permits, etc. Right? So let's just add this by clicking on the add button. Yeah, so now you get a notification that the category was saved successfully. After that, we add one more category because we have defined two observation types. Let's define this further or classify this further. Let's go to unsafe condition. It can be uh, hazard, can be an environmental condition. Okay, let's add to it. Let's add harsh weather, oil slash chemicals spill, and faulty equipments, right? faulty equipment. So yeah, there's no limit to adding a subcategory. So how much ever you want, you can just click on this icon and it helps you add a subcategory, right? For now, let's keep it limited to 3, right? Let's add that and we again get a notification. So now let's classify the incidents. What type of incident it is? Let's give it a near miss incident category. Let's have a fatality incident category. Let's have downtime. And let's add lost time due to injury, right? So yeah, we have classified 4 different incident categories and then we have the project target. As you click the add project target button, as we haven't defined any projects as of now, let's leave it blank. We'll come back to it later. All right. Now what we have to do is we have to go to the organization module. And if you have any confusion, you can just click on the help and it shows you the next sequence. So the next is the organization module. So just go to organization. So when you go to the organizations module, we see that there's already a pre-existing organization, right? This data has been entered when the subscription was created. All right. And if there's any changes to this information, you can edit it by just clicking on this icon, go through it. And if there are any changes to be made, you can make the changes, right? And there's an active and non-active status toggle button. As of now, let's keep it active and let's update, right? So now you can see there's a add an organization button on the right hand side corner. And by doing this, you can add another subsidiary organization or a subcontracting organization to comply with your observation tool, right? So yeah, that can be done as well. As of now, we'll just leave it at one company. Okay, we'll consider that we do not have any subsidiaries, right? There's also a search button for you to search between companies, right? So now when you go to the department module, there's currently no departments. So let's create a department for now. Let's add a department. So the first department, let it be health and safety. That's very crucial for our Salamath safety observation system. And then let's go with an organization that's already predefined. And let's keep it at active. And let's also add another department. Let's have a project department and the organization is the same. And let's click on add, right? So yeah, when that is done, if you want, you can add more. There's no limit to adding a department. So if you want, you can add more departments. As of now, for our purpose, we'll just have these 2 departments, right? Now, let's go to the help module. We have defined the organization and now we have to go define the employees. Now, before defining the employees, I'll quickly show you how the roles are defined in the system, right? So there are already predefined 4 roles in the system. So that is employee, supervisor, project manager, and admin, right? Basic idea is to when you define a role is to give its visibility scope, to control its visibility and control its access, right? So as you can see, the project manager and admin has access to all records. So that is they can access any of these modules. They can view, create, edit, and delete any of these modules, right? But as of employee and supervisor, that's not the case. They only have assigned data. Let's look into that in detail. So we'll click on the edit button. And what you see is you have an admin level access and a supervisor level access, right? So when you click on the admin level access, you give it rights to each and every module in the system. And when you click on the supervisor level access, it reverts back to nil. So you have no permission. So since it's an employee, we'll just give it the rights to dashboard, to view, create, and also to record some observations, right? So the idea is to boost engagement by using our system. So all employees have this access can be able to report an observation, right? So once that is done, you have to click on the update button for the changes to be made. So now you can see the roles have been updated successfully, right? Now that's the same case for supervisor as well, right? Only assign data. Okay. Now I think that's pretty straightforward. Now let's see what we have to enter next. Okay. So we have done the organization. I have given you an insight into the roles module. Now let's see how an employee is created or how an employee can be entered into a system. What details of an employee has to be entered into a system, right? So let's just click on go to employees. So this module, you see here that there is no employees that has been registered with the company, and that's because we haven't entered any data into it, right? So now let's change that. Let's click on new user button over here. And yeah, so we have the employee info, the security and the project info, right? So let's fill in some details. Let's give an employee detail. Let's give it Nigel, and let's give a last name and email and a mobile number, right? Now let's select a blood group. This is a drop down list, so there's a variety of blood groups to select. And let's just select A positive for now. Let's select a role. I'm going to give him a project manager role, fake employee ID, a fake civil ID, and you can, if you want to add your employee civil ID images to it, you can add it. And option to add civil ID image. That is, if you click on it, it takes you to a file upload menu. Here you can browse the file and then just upload it to the system, right? So now you have here security, okay? They're asking for a password. This password is set by the one who's entering the details, right? In this case, the super admin has the authority to enter the create a password for the employee so that he can access the Salamath user interface. The red asterisk is a mandatory column, right? So now the password that we enter over here is what is the password that the employee used to enter into the Salamath app, right? So let's set a password for now and let's confirm the password. That is one. Let's select an organization. Let's select a department. I'm going to give it an HSC department. Let's give it a project. Since we haven't defined any project over here, let's leave it blank for now. Okay, we'll get back to that later. And now once that is done, let's click on add. So now you can see that the employee has been created, right? Yeah. So basically what this module allows you to do is it helps you to create a username and password for your employee to log into the Salamath user interface, right? So now that is done. So let's go to the help module. So we have classified our categories. We have defined the organization. We have defined the employees. And now let's define the project, right? So let's go to the projects module. You have an add project button on the right hand side corner. So just click on it and it asks you for some mandatory details to be entered. So now let's create a project name, overhead, lift. Okay, let's see. Start pipe should be start date. Start date should be today. End date will be After a month, now that has been done. Project manager is Nigel, organization is XYZ, department is HSC, location, let's keep a fake location for now. A location, let's give field. All right. Now there's an option to add a document. Anything that's relevant to the project can be added over here for employees to go through. Okay. So as of now, we are not going to add anything here. Let's just click on the add button. Yeah. So now the project has been created successfully, right? So now we have to assign this project to the employee we created earlier, as we left that blank. So now let's look at how to assign projects. So let's go to employees. Let's pick up where we left off. Let's click on the edit button. And now this project assigned over here. It's a drop down menu. Let's click on the project we have defined. Company name, we'll leave it blank. Certificate name, we'll leave it blank. And if we have any notes to enter, we can enter that here. As of now, that's done. Let's verify it manually. All the information we have entered is in the right place. If it's manually verified, let's click on update. Perfect. Now that the project has been assigned, let's go to the next step. That is the most important or crucial part of the system to record an observation, right? To do that, let's go to the observations module. So we have 3 pages in observation, all open and closed. So there's no data in all of them as we haven't entered an observation yet. So let's do that first. So let's click on add an observation. The date and time fills in automatically, and if you want to change it, you can change it. And that applies to the date as well. Let's choose the project we have defined. Let's the location. Yeah, the location is pre-filled automatically. Location is connected to the project, and yeah. Let's select an observation type. Let's select an unsafe act observation. Let's consider this as a negative observation. Let's consider priority. What kind of priority it is? It is high priority because it's an unsafe act and the reporting type is self. Let's choose a category. Let it be quality and improper PP for now. An incident category. It's going to be a near-miss, right? And stop work. So what we have observed is a worker not wearing proper PP. That is, he has a damaged safety helmet, something like that. So let's note it down. Let's describe the observation we have seen. So let it be worker not worker wearing damaged PPE, right? So now that has been done. Let's assign it to Bison Waters. Okay. And we can also add an image if you want to. For now, we are not adding an image. We can just click on the browse the image we need from the file upload menu. As of now, we won't upload anything. And let's just see, right? Now that the observation has been assigned, let's add another observation. Okay. So at crane lift, observation type unsafe condition this time. It's a negative observation. The priority is high because it's a negative observation and it's an unsafe condition. Let it be reporting type be self. Category environmental. Subcategory harsh weather. Incident category can be near miss. We're going to stop the work because harsh weather conditions that makes it unable for workers to execute the project. So we have observed dust storm and high temperatures rising. So let's note that down. Uh, Observe high temperatures and approaching. Okay. Now that's done. Let's upload an image. Let's add a picture. Let's add this picture. All right. Now for this, we'll take a recommended action because advised the from the supervisor to cease all works and take shelter. All right. Advise the supervisors to cease all works and take shelter because of the conditions, right? Give you an option to add an image as to provide an evidence for your corrective action, right? Now let's save it. See that there are two open observations. There are none that's closed, right? Now let's see how to close an observation. So for that, let's click on the left hand side of the uh, observation. And here when you scroll down, you have an option to add comments. The damaged helmet was replaced. And before this, there's something that I've missed. It is that I've assigned this to an employee, right? So what the assign function does is it assigns it to an employee of the organization that gets alerted via notifications that an observation has been assigned to you. So what can be done is either he can log in and can write the comment that resolves the issue, or you can close it yourself, right? So as it is, now as of now, I'll close it myself. Okay, the damage helmet was replaced and verified. All right, now that's done. Let's close the observation. All right, and let's also close this one as well. Let's see, status is closed. Okay, let's close the second one. Workers wearing damaged PPE. Safety helmet is took place. All right, that's done. Okay, now we have two closed observations and we have none that's open, right? Okay, now that's done. Now let's go to reports module and let's see how to generate a report, right? So now you have the observation register, the safety observation log, and target resources sheet. So now click on the observation register. It gives you a mini dashboard to show how many total observation was recorded and how many were opened, how many were closed, and how many were stop work observations, right? And you can also search a report on the search bar and you can also choose the date range, right? So as of now, we'll just, we don't have that many data to filter around, so we'll just leave it at that. So now you have an option to sort and filter the headings according to date and time, project, observation type, category, priority, assigned to, etc. Right? So now that's done. Let's click on one of the observation to see how our report looks like, right? And this is how our report will look like. If all the details that we have entered when we recorded an observation will be here. And you can also download this by clicking on this menu. Yeah. So while printing, this is how our report will look like. Okay. So now let's just go back and yeah, let's just go back again. And you can also have an option to print over here that helps you print it as a whole, right? Now The daily of safety observation log helps you filter the number of observations recorded by an employee using this option, right? And we also have a search function over here. And yeah, and over here you do not have an option to print it individually, but rather you have a print option that allows you to print this as a whole. All right. Now let's go to target versus achieved, right? We have an entry of Rowan Johnson, that's our employee, the project he's concerned with, and we have the number of observation he has recorded on each week, right? On a day of a week, right? And that can be changed over here. So here you can see that the target is not defined, right? That's because we haven't defined the target when we were classifying the incidents, right? Option 2, add project target. And we did not do this at that time because we did not have a project defined, right? So right now we'll have a project defined, we'll enter the target. For now, let's give him a target of 20, right? And this will be per week. Okay, now that's done. Let's go back to our reports. Let's go back to target versus achieved. And you can see that the target appears, right? And he has achieved 2 of those targets. He has achieved 2 out of 20, right? Yeah. Now you can print this as a whole. Okay. Or you can just leave it at that. Now come back to the dashboard module, and we see that there's not many changes to our graph bars and charts. That's because we haven't had input min data. When there's a lot of data, it helps you in better data analysis. Okay, better identification of root cause, right? So yeah, now that's done. Yeah, now that I've shown you the interface of Salamath and how our application interacts with the users, if there's any doubt or if you're interested in using our product, please reach out to sales@salamath.io. I'll provide the link in the description below. And if you have liked this video or if you have any doubts, you can also comment on this page. I will get back to you as soon as I can, right? It was great talking to you. Thank you.